Hello students, I am Prem Dhawan and will be discussing with you the preparation of haloalkanes in this video. But before we start, please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already and press the bell button so that we can notify you whenever the next video comes. So we'll start with preparation of haloalkanes, and there are number of methods to prepare haloalkanes, and we'll start with the first method, that is called direct halogenation of alkanes. Now when we say direct halogenation of alkanes, it means replacing one hydrogen of the parent alkane by halogen atom. Alkanes have a general formula CnH2n plus 2, so we are replacing one hydrogen of the parent alkane by halogen. So it gives CnH2n plus 1 X. This is called haloalkane. This is called halogenation of alkane. Now halogenation of alkane takes place in the presence of light or high temperature. And since light is required for the halogenation of alkanes, the reaction is also known as photohalogenation. And for a given alkane, the reactivity of the halogens decreases in this order. Fluorine is the most reactive, then chlorine, then bromine, and then we have a iodine. Now we start with the first. As you know, alkanes are saturated hydrocarbons. They have a very strong carbon hydrogen bond, and this carbon hydrogen bond is also almost non-polar. So this CH sigma bond of alkane can split up only homolytically, and this homolytic fission results in the formation of free radicals. Now when it reacts with halogen, this is called halogen X2, and here also you have a bond between the two like atoms. This XX bond also split up homolytically and gives you again the free radical. So what we are doing in this reaction, we are replacing one free radical by another in the presence of light. So this reaction is also called free radical substitution. So this reaction is called a free radical substitution reaction. Now we start with first simple alkane, that is methane. Now this is structure of methane molecule. And if you see in this methane, there are 4 hydrogen atoms present, and all 4 hydrogen atoms are chemically identical, they are chemically same. And as a result, if you want to replace one hydrogen of methane by chlorine, you can replace any H. So on methane, on reaction with chlorine in the presence of light, gives one and only one product. This is called a chloromethane, and HCl is a side product. This is called chloromethane. Now we take the second example, that is called ethane. Now in ethane, you have 6 hydrogens present, but if you see the structure, all 6 hydrogens are chemically same, they are chemically equivalent. Again, on reaction with chlorine, you can replace any one hydrogen of the parent ethane by chlorine. So on reaction with chlorine in the presence of light, so we can also write UV light. So since all 6 hydrogens are chemically same, any hydrogen of ethane can be replaced by chlorine, and one and only one product is obtained. This is called a chloroethane, and HCl is a side product. Now if we start with the third example, this is called propane. And we are reacting it with the chlorine now in the presence of again light. Now if you look at propane structure, this methyl group is bonded to CH2. This methyl group is also bonded to CH2. It means each methyl group has the same chemical surrounding. As a result, all 6 hydrogens of these 2 methyl groups are chemically identical. So we label them as set A. But if you look at CH2 group is bonded to CH3 on both sides. It means this CH2 has a different chemical surrounding as compared to CH3. So these 2 hydrogens are chemically different. So we label these 2 hydrogens as set B. So we have 2 different sets of hydrogens present. Now we have 2 options available. Either we can replace one hydrogen from the set A by chlorine, or we can replace one hydrogen from the set B by chlorine. As a result, 2 products are formed. So when we react propane with chlorine, the 2 monochloro products are formed. One is 1-chloropropane, and the second is 2-chloropropane. This is called 2-chloropropane. So how do you decide how many monochloro products you will get on monochlorination? The number of monochloro products formed, it depends on the number of different sets of hydrogens. But if you have to decide which one is the major product out of these 2, 1-chloropropane or 2-chloropropane, you have to look at the stability order of the free radicals. Now stability order of the free radicals follows this order. Stability of free radicals follows the order 1 degree, radical is the least stable, 2 degree means the secondary, and 3 degree means the tertiary radical is the most stable. So whenever your reaction follows free radical mechanism, you always keep in mind the stability of the free radical. Now in case of propane, if you see the propane again, this CH3 carbon is called a primary carbon because this carbon is attached to one other carbon. This CH3 is also called primary carbon, and the hydrogens attached to primary carbon atoms are called primary hydrogens. So these 6 hydrogens are primary hydrogens, and this CH2 carbon is attached to 2 other carbon atoms. This is called 2 degree carbon, secondary carbon, and the hydrogens attached to this carbon are called secondary hydrogens. So you have to see replacement of which hydrogen gives you a stable free radical. Now replacing hydrogen from the set 2 or replacing hydrogen of the 2 degree carbon gives you 2 degree free radical and hence stable. So when we react this compound with chlorine in the presence of sunlight, it gives 2-chloropropane as a major product, 2-chloropropane as the major product. So we can also write that the ease of replacement of hydrogen means which hydrogen is easily replaceable. Now ease of replacement of hydrogen follows this order. 1 degree H most difficult to displace, 2 degree hydrogen, and 3 degree hydrogen is the most easily replaceable. Now we have a second method, that is a preparation of haloalkanes from alkenes. So this is a B method from alkenes. Now alkenes have a general formula CnH2n, and our aim is to prepare haloalkanes with a molecular formula CnH2n plus 1x. It means we have to add one hydrogen and one halogen to alkenes, and this addition of hydrogen and halogen to alkene is known as hydrohalogenation. So this reaction is called hydrohalogenation, addition of hydrogen and halogen. Now as we know that alkenes are unsaturated hydrocarbons, they contain carbon-carbon pi bond, and we also know that pi bond is formed by sideways overlapping of atomic orbitals. As a result, the electron density is present above and below the plane containing carbon atoms. As a result, alkenes are electron rich. So since alkenes are electron rich, in the very first step we can only add H positive. Now this H positive is electron deficient, and this electron deficient group is called electrophile. So the first step is the addition of electrophile, and you add H positive to one of the double bonded carbon, and as a result the second carbon acquires a positive charge. And carbon carrying a positive charge is called a carbocation. So the first step is the addition of H positive to form carbocation. Now second step is this carbocation then combines with X negative, which is electron rich, and this X negative is called a nucleophile. Electron rich atom or group is called nucleophile, and it completes the reaction and gives the final product is called haloalkane. So reaction proceeds via two steps. First step is the addition of electrophile across the double bond to form carbocation. Second step is the addition of nucleophile to form the final product. So since the reaction is proceeding via carbocation, the mechanism is called electrophilic addition, or this is called ionic mechanism. Now we start with first example, and this is our ethene, CH2 double bond CH2. Now if you look at this ethene, it is a symmetrical alkene, and as a result you add H positive to any carbon of the double bond and X negative to the second carbon atom. So we are adding hydrogen to this carbon and we are adding halogen to this carbon. So in this case one and only one product is formed. This is called haloethane. Now suppose we start with this example now. This is called propane, CH3CH double bond CH2, and we are adding HBr across the double bond. Now you can use any hydrogen halide, it may be HCl, it may be HBr, it may be HI. Now this alkene is unsymmetrical, so we don't know where should we add H positive. There are two options available. Now in case of unsymmetrical alkenes, the reaction takes place, the addition of HX takes place according to Markovnikov's rule. Now according to Markovnikov rule, H plus ion adds to that carbon of the double bond which already contains more number of hydrogen. So H positive adds to that carbon of the double bond, which already contains more number of hydrogen atoms. More number of hydrogen atoms. So in this case, this carbon contains 2 hydrogen atoms. This carbon contains 1 hydrogen atom. So according to Markovnikov rule, we add H positive to CH2 carbon and we add Br negative to CH carbon. So this reaction gives 2-bromopropane as the major product. This is a major product, 2-bromopropane. Now suppose we are adding hydrogen bromide across the double bond of propene in the presence of organic peroxide. Now any organic peroxide can be used. Now in the presence of organic peroxide, addition of HBr takes place according to anti-Markovnikov rule. Now according to anti-Markovnikov rule, H adds to this carbon and bromine adds to this carbon. So the major product of this reaction is 1-bromopropane. 1-bromopropane. And this anti-Markovnikov addition of HBr in the presence of peroxide is known as peroxide effect or we use the term Karash effect or we can use Karash-Mayow effect. But remember, this anti-Markovnikov addition takes place only when the HBr and peroxide both are present together.